Okay.
I'm
Uh,
kidding.
well, I am, so we'll be fine.
Oh, you are
Yeah,
phenomenal. This is
yeah.
Christopher Long. You've been the partner that I've been wanting to work with my entire life on
Well, we're
everything.
record. It, that's on tape now, so thank you. That's how we're
Yeah,
starting our career as
partners.
podcasters, or
I I
partners.
I think we're partners. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So, um, let's let's preface. Let's set the stage. Why would well first introduce yourself,
I'm
and then I'll.
Pratik.
All right, Pratik
Yeah.
Smith.
Desai.
Okay.
Yeah, and AI's in the name. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
I'm Pratik Desai. I'm here in New York. I'm a Jersey boy though. Let's see what's a little fun fact about me. I've worked in tech my entire life, but I'm a aerospace engineer by education, and I guess the fun fact is in a different world, I'm a movie star. I actually acted in high school, ended up on Step Up 3D and Percy Jackson and the Olympians. So some universe somewhere, I'm currently a big movie star in Hollywood.
All right. Awesome. Uh, my name's Christopher Long. I live in Texas. I've lived here for decades, but I'm originally from Oklahoma. That's important. If you live in Oklahoma or Texas, you'll understand why it's important to call that out. That I'm from one, or I live in one, but I'm from the other. Um,
Hmm.
by education, I'm a dropout. Um,
Did you
I
drop
went
out?
Well, I went to college for about 6 years.
Okay.
Attended the University of Oklahoma, which I loved, Boomer Sooner. But I spent the last 2 years in a recording studio helping bands record their music instead of going to class. Um, and then
So
there's a long, yeah,
you went to college longer than I did, but you're
yes,
considered a dropout.
correct.
And I'm a successful college student.
That's exactly right.
You went to college double the amount of time I did. I went for 3 years.
Well, now I know that.
Okay. And I partied the fourth year. They told me I had to do the fourth year because you
Okay,
can only take senior design during senior year. So I had
okay.
to do fourth year. I took classes like Italian and getting drunk at the bar. So there was a class at Rutgers called wine tasting. Actually, that was
That was a
a fun.
class.
That was a class. Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why if you ever
fantastic.
take me into a corporate setting, I'm just a wine connoisseur, Chris.
Well, that's why people go to college is to become experts at things. So that's good.
At
Um,
business, yeah.
business. Um, where are we? Okay, so yes, we both work in tech, correct?
That's correct. Yes, I like to think so.
Okay.
Um,
Tell us
uh,
because this is our inaugural uh, episode thing.
yeah.
Uh, tell us a little bit about your background, like your career background in tech.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I started systems integration at Accenture. Worked my way into strategy consulting. Primary client there was Johnson Johnson. Kind of working into the CTO organization. Then ended up falling in love with a product called Salesforce. You might have heard of it, Chris. Yeah.
I have.
You've heard of it? Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Fell in love with that, so decided to lead a digital transformation into Salesforce from legacy platforms at Philips Van Heusen, parent company of Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and then jumped over to Salesforce itself, um, where I met some cool people. I think I met you there, didn't I? Um,
You did.
yeah, yeah, I did. All right, so I ended up leaving Salesforce to start my own company, specializing in Salesforce. It was a professional services company. Ended up selling that to Listing Age, where I now sit on the leadership team. And Listing Age is, as of October last year, a TCS company. And
Congratulations.
yeah, we absolutely work, or I work in the technology world and focus on applied AI.
Excellent. Thank you. Um, I am a little bit longer in the tooth, as people long in the tooth say. Um, so I have a bit longer of a career history, but I'll try and keep it like succinct. So as I mentioned, while I was um, not graduating, what I was doing was I was at a music recording studio, and I was I've been into computers since I was little. So I'm almost 50, but I started like the first time I ever programmed a computer was when I was 10. So about 40ish years ago, I started like making computers do things, and I like it. That was it. That was it for me. So music and that were the two things that I really fell in love with. That's important because while I was at the recording studio, we started building things. And this is like when all you could build was HTML and a JavaScript applet if you were lucky. We
Hmm.
started building things for other bands. And then that actually turned into Macromedia. I don't know if anybody listening or watching remembers Macromedia, but um, so it was Flash before it was Flash. It was called Director at that time. So during college, I was working at the recording studio, recording music, and then at night or whenever I wasn't doing that, I was building things for bands, for websites, um, just whatever they needed. Like that's what I was doing. And towards the end of my college career, um, a person I worked with at the studio moved to Dallas. They started working for a tech company, and they asked me if I wanted to come down and do that, like do like web design, really. So I came down. This was like 2001, maybe. Um, and then I got into like serious coding from there because they were building like a web app. Um, and that transitioned into me working at a advertising company, the largest at the time independent advertising company in the United States. It was based in Dallas. Um, it was called the Richards Group. They started an internet um, mini company called clickhere.com. So I started working at clickhere.com, helping them make ads, like digital ads. And by that time, it was Flash, and I was very immersed in Flash. I became very good at it, and that was kind of my thing. Like, so we were building microsites for all kinds of brands, but like experiences. Like they were very complex. For example, built a Facebook for the Hyundai Elantra at one point out of Flash. Um, so
Interesting.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah,
You had to
yeah.
build Facebooks with Flash at some point.
Well, so at that point in time, this was like early 2000s, like social medias
Okay.
or social networks were starting to take off.
Okay.
And so
I'm
everybody,
showing my age here, but yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
everybody wanted their own social network. It wasn't I'm just going to go get on Facebook and have a page at that time. It was
I understand.
I
Okay.
I need that. So Ruby on Rails was hot at that time. So the back end was Ruby on Rails, the front end was Flash, and magic happened, and people got together and talked about their Elantras. Um, it changed lives. Um, but okay, so uh, from that I started my own company. So I left that, started my own company, doing those things I was good at. And like we got a little deeper, like apps were starting to become a thing later in the 2000s. So started building apps and web apps, still making lots of ads, but doing a lot of things for local brands. Like we did a lot of stuff for the Big 12, like sports group, because I'm like in
Wow.
Texas and they were
Yeah.
based there. And then I sold my half to my then partner, and then had another consulting company after that, and then ended up at Salesforce. And that was I ended up at Salesforce 9 years ago. So I'm
Well,
currently there. I work in partner enablement. Oh, gosh, that felt like what a journey.
what a journey. I didn't know
What a
most of
journey.
that. I knew you
Really?
worked at
Yeah.
Salesforce. I didn't I didn't realize you did the audio thing. I didn't realize you
Yeah.
worked for the Big 12 or worked with the Big 12 as a client. That's interesting. It's not the SEC, so unfortunately
Right.
demerits there, but
Yeah.
or
Thanks. I
points
appreciate
there
it.
depending on who's listening. I have
Right.
no
Where you're
idea.
from.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and I have no allegiance to the SEC, but interesting. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So what are we doing today?
Well, we're 10 minutes in, so we need to get to what we're doing. Um,
Okay.
right now, I think it's fair to say that we are both very enamored with the promise for builders and technical people,
Yeah.
the promise of AI. Um, right?
Yes, and I think the I think my fascination with it is if you think if you well if I think about technology and the innovations that we've had in technology, I think it's been a game of how to close a gap of information asymmetry, right? Like there there is a way to boil every innovation down to did we close the gap between people that know how to do it and people that don't know how to do it. And you can kind of boil every innovation down that way, right? So like, and potentially even access, not even just knowing how to do it. Do you have access to do it? Even things like Uber, right? Not everyone could be a taxi driver in Manhattan until Uber. Now everyone could be a taxi driver in Manhattan. So there's access, there's information asymmetry gaps that are being closed. Um, so now what am I saying this for as it relates to AI and vibe coding? I think what we're really fascinated with is there's a world where I've now watched my wife, who's in the medical world. She's really smart, but has never touched code and wouldn't touch code. You know, previously, prior to 2022, she would say, "Hey, I have an idea. Can you build this for our household or whatever it is?" And I would build her a dashboard that controls our nests through, non-public APIs. Um, she can now dream of that and in 15 minutes have that up and running. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work on every edge case. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be perfect and handle everything she wants, but we're closing a gap, right? And we're definitely not in a world where she has to talk to a developer to get 50% of the way there, 40% of the way there. Um, so then the question for me becomes, how do we democratize the reality that these tools exist? Because right now they are starting to close a gap. But the gap that is not being closed is awareness that the gap is being closed, if that makes sense.
It might make sense. um, okay, so thank you for that. What are we going to try and do right now, anyway, when we meet? Like, the idea is we're going to try and just build some stuff to expose some of these tools or get exposure for some of these tools, some of these
Yeah,
ideas, right? And our big brainchild was for this episode was we're going to vibe code a thing to help us decide what to vibe code, right?
yeah, yeah.
Right? All right. An inception of
A
vibe coding.
vibe code, yeah, a vibe code idea generator. So here's my proposal, or we're doing this on
Okay.
the fly, right? We haven't even talked
Yeah.
about this,
We
but
haven't talked about how we're doing this.
here's my proposal.
Okay.
I want to use Gemini AI Studio,
Okay.
not because it's the best tool, but because it feels very accessible.
Okay. So let me give your why, and then I'll pitch what I want to use,
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
and then we'll pick one.
Okay, yeah. I think that Gemini AI Studio presents an accessible portal platform for us to quickly get this up and running in a prototype fashion, and we don't actually ever have to go to production with this, in my opinion. It's for us. And so
Okay.
the place that we can host it in Gemini AI Studio um, quickly can get a prototype up for us to use for future reference and for anytime we need an idea. I'm imagining a casino somewhere. We're pulling the lever and
Right.
ideas are spitting out. We can just go there and do it, versus have to focus on infrastructure that other vibe coding tools would require us to actually think about.
Interesting. Okay. So how long do you think it would take us to make this happen?
Ooh, interesting. I'm gonna Kessel run this. I don't think it's the how long, or
Right.
Kessel
Yeah.
run is how long
Yes.
versus
Not how
the
fast.
not half. Yeah. Um, I don't think that's the question. I think the question is how wrong, how vague of a prompt and how many vague prompts and imperfect prompts can get us to our end result as fast as possible, or as many as least amount of vague prompts as possible to a desired output. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
It does make sense. So my avenue would be Claude artifacts.
Okay,
It
interesting.
it instantly will build the front end. You just like I can publish it and share it. Anyone could then see it and use it. Um, and I think it would take less parsecs.
Less
But
parsecs.
the reason I asked
Uh,
about time was, what if we did both? What if we start with yours and we just take your first prompt after we're done with yours, take your first prompt and then put it into Claude artifacts and see how it performs. Um, but that all depends on time. We don't have all day to do this. We have careers and families
well, and
and
the beauty of it
yeah.
is I'm pretty sure we're going to get to an end result in less than 5 prompts. So I think
Okay.
we can do both. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's.
All
All
right.
right.
So
So I'm
you go
I'm actually
first.
gonna, yeah, I'm gonna present my screen here.
Okay.
Um, and I was not prepared, so I'm actually going to go to Gemini Studio. Here we go. All right, so I Googled Gemini AI Studio. I often find myself Googling Google, and this feels like I'm Googling Google, but here we go. I'm going to click Gemini AI Studio. So this interface at first, I think it feels pretty daunting. I don't love necessarily how much there is because it
Yeah. What am
doesn't
I
feel.
looking at? That's like the controls for the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, this is why we're doing the Kessel Run.
Okay.
Um, there's a lot here. There's a lot here, and we don't need most of this, right? I think the challenge that Gemini is trying to solve for is they are trying to get to the point where this can be used for production. And quite frankly, I've done things here that I've launched into production. And so if you need to do that, you need all the controls for what we're trying to do and for use cases my wife comes up with. She doesn't need all these controls. We don't need to control temperature and where the API keys live and structured outputs and non-structured output, execution of the code, function calling. We don't need all that. I don't think. We'll find out, but let's see, right? I think right now what we can do is we can just go to build and say we're just going to describe an idea and see how far we get. Now we're probably going to want to add a few things depending on what our idea is. All right, so what are we trying to accomplish? Let's actually bullet it out. We are kicking off a weekly build with. I'm making this up as we go. Build with us, vibe coding series where we take seemingly small but real world examples and vibe code them in, I guess we decided, Gemini AI Studio and Claude Code. Please build an idea generator that also includes a starting prompt for the let's say the starting prompt for the vibe code session. Let's call it a session,
Okay.
right? That can be used for either Gemini or Claude Code, right?
Okay.
The last piece that I'm thinking about here is um, we're going to share this with the world. So let's make it fun to use, but easy to use for others to do their own vibe coding. How does that feel?
Um, examples and vibe code them in Gemini. Okay. Please build an idea generator that also includes a starting prompt for the vibe code session that can be used for either Gemini or Claude Code. We are going to share this with the world. Um, uh, let's be more specific on share this with the world. Let's say we want to share um, the vibe coding idea generator with the world.
Coding idea generator
Yeah,
with the world. Okay. Yep. I like
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's it. That's my only change. Copy. Um, uh, yeah. Just so then.
Yeah. And let
Uh,
me send that to our super secret
okay.
chat that we have. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. I just sent it to you. So
Okay.
here's a few options that I always mess around with, right? I
Okay.
don't necessarily know we need to change anything, but do we want the default model? I think yes. Let's just do the default for now. I don't think we need to go crazy. Do we need any
Okay.
systems instructions like a pre-prompt instructions for the project, like controlling the styles and all that stuff? I don't think so. We're not trying to go overboard. We're just getting started here.
Right.
I'm okay with this being in React. I have
Okay.
no preference or dog in the fight. Um, and then we don't really need to worry about Microsoft microphone. We're not asking people to talk to it. I'm not adding a database. Um, we don't need to do Google search necessarily. Maps, I don't think we need to
This
add.
is the first time I've seen this, so this is really impressive because I haven't tried Studio. I've done
I
everything in
am
code.
impressive, Chris. Yeah.
Okay. So, but what this feels like to me is all those options are all the things I would have to decide in like Firebase. Like, am I going to turn on that feature, turn on that feature? Is like, what is, do you know when it builds this stuff, what it's using to build the stuff with?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell it to use Firebase. It's obviously going to use GCP as a
Yeah.
baseline. But for example, if I just say use Google search data,
Hmm.
what it's actually being told is somewhere in your resulting app or whatever it is, tap into the Google Search API. And that's going
Okay.
to, I'm currently in my Google workspace connected to a GCP. So it's essentially going and turning on the Google Search API, or it's going to tell me to. You'll see that experience if it does.
Okay.
Um, and say, turn on the API, give me the key, and I'll use that in your product. The same thing for Maps data, but it's essentially using all of the Google products. You can see here, add database and auth. That probably would tap into the Firebase, add Nano
Okay.
Banana 2.
So,
Just go ahead.
can I interrupt? Is that okay? It's
Yeah.
important for people to understand if we're trying to like encourage folks to try some stuff. Um, like, if I pick any of these options, am I automatically going to have to start paying to use any of these things?
It's a good question. Yeah. So Google does have a freemium model. Um,
Okay.
so for prototyped applications, you should be fine,
Okay.
right? Obviously, do your due diligence. You should be fine. Once you start hitting certain thresholds, which presumably means you're killing it and doing something awesome and commercial that benefits you, you would at certain thresholds start to get charged, right?
Okay.
And that'll be based on metering for how Google charges for these
But
particular tools.
prototyping, you should be in the clear.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
unless you share a prototype out with the world and it just goes magically haywire and forgot to charge people, I think you'll be okay. So
Okay.
let's do it. Let's actually let's why don't we include Google search data? You can see here I selected
Mm-hmm.
that, and now it's going to be able to go out and look for data on the interweb. And let's say generate images with Nano Banana, and let's say each result should contain an awesome image for no reason other than fun.
Okay.
All right, so now we added that, and we're gonna try out some tools here.
Okay.
Let's try it. You want to build it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna click build here, and so now you're in the actual quote unquote. I don't know what the name for this is, but like let's say that it's the most akin to an IDE. So if I click code,
Okay.
you'll see the actual code. You'll see the file structure. I can modify the code. On the left here is what I can talk to make recommendations. It's going to tell me I need this information. I need this API key. If I said, hey, I need to tap into an API key that's not a Google product, this is where it's going to say, hey, great. I'm at the step where I need the key. I'm at the
Mm-hmm.
step where I need the payload or whatever it is. Um, you can see on the top right, publish. That's where you can actually publish and actually deploy. There's going to be a GitHub hook in. So for every time I publish, I can even push to GitHub to continue to use the GitHubbing functionality. There's also a share functionality. And this
Okay.
is where I think we're going to have a big difference in wanting to use Claude versus Gemini. Not only can Gemini do what Claude does, which is share the result with the world, I can share the actual workbench with you. So
Oh,
you
that
can get in
sounds.
there, and we can collaborate vibe code. I don't know. I don't know if there's a term for that. We can vibe together. Um, on this particular product, on this particular project. So the way that they're building out this experience is collaborative. I don't necessarily prescribe to one versus the other. I just know that there's two of us working on this, and there's going to be a moment where we go, hey, let me get in that tool, let me get in that project, and Claude as a app right now is not accessible on sharing those things together. Oh, here we go. Look at this.
Ooh. Oh, look. That's not. I already like it. I like it. Okay. Vibe code generator.
Build with us series. Okay, so I took that and ran with it. Vibe code generator. Start
Yep.
thinking, start vibing. I like it. Generate real world app ideas and exact prompts to build them in seconds.
Image
Image
quality.
image quality. All right. Connect a paid Google Cloud project API key to enable high quality image generation. Okay,
Can
so
go
that's
with look.
interesting.
Yeah, but so what is hmm like it would have been nice if it had brought that up
Hmm.
like once you said this is what I want and this is what I want to use. It would have been nice if there because there was no step between build what you said and build. It didn't come back and say like ask you any questions. Um,
Hmm.
but I'm still very impressed. Keep going.
Yeah, you're right. So I think the reason, and comes back to prompt design. I think the reason it did that, and this is either smart or annoying depending on how you look at it. I think the reason it did that because it does do that when the prompt design is different. We said we were going to share this with the world, so it's now resulting in, I think, it intelligently thought through. You don't want to share this with the world and also use your API for high image quality every single time. That's very expensive, and there's no commercialization strategy here,
Yep,
right?
you're right.
And so the reason it did that, in my humble belief, is probably because it said, don't lose all your money on this,
No, you
um,
sold me. That's very smart. You're right.
right? And
Use your own key.
you use your own key. Um, the the products that I've built in the past, for example, Sudoku, which did use an AI coach um, as part of the application, did actually ask me for an API key because it said it's going to be used infrequently. You have a monetization strategy for the Sudoku app, although it was just for fun. So give me an API key. We'll bake that in because you don't want to have other people. They're already paying for your app. You don't want them to also have to bring their own key. In this case,
Hmm.
it's for fun. Bring your own key. You want to go fancy. So um, I'm going to click Vibe now and see what happens.
Okay.
And
I like
it's
the
okay.
aesthetic. It's fun. Okay. Minimalist Markdown Scratch Pad.
Okay, so what is this? It just did something. So first of all, connect API key for a visual. So it looks like any type of image, you need an API
Hmm.
key, which again, I mean, images are expensive, so it's doing us a favor, I think. We don't actually know, but I believe. Uh, a distraction-free browser-based Markdown editor designed for quick notes and focus drafting. It features a real-time preview, local storage persistence, and a Zen mode for deep work. I would use that application actually.
Really?
I
Okay.
I missed I mean in my mind Notepad plus plus
Hmm.
just came to mind. Um, and this is like Notebook plus plus or Notepad plus plus with a distraction free mechanism and a Zen mode, which I don't even understand necessarily, but I'm intrigued.
I mean, I don't. I like the description. Um, let's read the prompt. So my only thing is that I've been using AI to write my markdown. I don't know if I need an editor. Um, a Zen mode toggle, but
Mm.
I like the idea of building this. This seems like a great. You know what this seems like to me? Like a hello world. This
This
kind of
feels like the
activity.
whole world. Yeah.
This feels like, but that's great. That's perfect for a starting app. So okay, so you've prompted. You had a single prompt. You have not um, prompted any changes. Would you prompt any changes for this?
Not really, right? Like I materially this was what we wanted, right? So
Hmm.
I'm actually gonna
Well,
bring
wait,
this
wait,
home
wait.
here.
Go back down. Go back down.
Oh yeah, go
So
ahead.
is it storing ideas, and when we need another one, like let's say we didn't like that idea, but we don't want to lose it, and
Mm-hmm.
we would want to like try again, come up with a new idea. Would it be worthwhile to at least say to have that functionality to say, okay, I want to. Um, I guess I just click vibe now, but what if I want to remember the things it's
Okay,
offering?
great, great. So now we're getting into why there should have been a database. So maybe prompt design um, should have accounted for that, but we didn't, and that's okay. I think that's
Yeah.
like a real world scenario.
Okay.
So let's look here, right? There's some suggestions. It's actually suggesting things we can do to improve it. So add favorite ideas. I think I think that's probably what you're actually asking about. So
Yeah.
we'll do that. Refine load states, add error handling, add share functionality. We definitely want that. So I'm going to go ahead and click add favorite ideas.
Okay.
Allow users to favorite generated ideas, storing them locally or in a local storage for later review. Boom. Actually, it one upped me. There's no need for a database.
No, local
We
storage.
we all have browsers, so um, great. Do that. The one thing I want to call out here too is it's interesting. It Twitter, GitHub, Discord. I think it went ahead and ran with the idea of the series that we're kicking
Yeah.
off
Like it's
and said, "Here's your landing page for your
yes.
brand, essentially.
Yeah, you're already a smash hit. Everybody needs to know. Great.
You're crushing it. Give them your
Yep.
Twitter." Although it didn't recognize that it's called X now, which is
Right.
interesting.
Well,
Um,
you know what? It's everyone still calls it Twitter. I don't
yeah,
know if yeah, all right. Okay, so it's right now behind the scenes. It's just making an
it's
update.
working.
Okay.
It's working, right? And I can actually go to the code. So this is interesting too, right?
Ooh.
You can so right now you can see it's working on app.tsx,
Yep.
right? Which this is a React format, so you've got a React folder, you've got your your envs, your index file, your package.json. In fact, let's take a look at that for the techies of the world. Like it went and picked dependencies that not all of those dependencies are Google, right? It's there's common packages that it decided that it wanted to pull in, and it's actually simulating the build of all this stuff for us. I can modify that. I don't want to. That's not what we're here for. We're here for vibe coding. So um, let's see. It just said it did it. So save your vibes, persistent locage, storage, favorites, gallery, quick actions. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna click vibe. I want to get to Claude, so let's just get this one generated.
Did you have to
And
refresh it, or did it already do that? It did that as the build because now there's a heart. Look at that.
it
Okay.
did that as a build. I don't even have to do it. So
Okay.
look at that heart. I can heart it. Um, wow.
But where do they live? Where do I see my favorites?
Yeah, interesting. What happens if I click this? Interesting. All right. I think that is probably okay. So if I favorited that,
Yeah, do another one.
let's click vibe now. Let's see what it's cooking up. So the favorite should be accessible somewhere, right? Um, okay, it's
Okay.
not.
So,
It's
well,
not.
click your heart up top, and let's see if that creates if that shows it.
Oh, here
There
we
they
go. Your
are.
favorites.
Yeah.
Your favorites. All right. It thought about it. Um, very good. I'm gonna pause here. I'm gonna
Okay.
just finish this off with I can copy the app,
Okay.
I can share with you,
Okay.
and I can share with your obviously your Google account. I can publish. Publish
Okay.
is actually going live. I'm gonna do that a little bit later. I'll do that offline.
Okay.
I can track versions. I can track
Nice.
secrets,
Ooh.
right? Gemini secret. I can track integrations if we have them. This is the killer. I can
Yeah.
put this on GitHub and use my workflow on GitHub to continue to track the versions, not in this version, but in GitHub. So when we're ready for prime time, we push to GitHub and we collaborate there, or we can collaborate here. Both are options. It's really just about what's the least disruptive to your workflow. I'm going to pause. I'm hit publish. and over to you on Claude.
Okay, that's amazing. And just watching you from like functionality, like that beats artifacts. Like I'm trying to do a very specific thing, um, which is artifacts. And what you showed has more functionality than artifacts, but we're still going to do it. So let me share my screen. All right, so let me know if you can see
All
Claude.
right. I
Can
am
you see?
looking at I'm looking at artifacts. Yep.
All right, so I've already made a couple artifacts. I made one to help me just like know what concerts are coming to town.
I like it.
Um,
Yep.
Also, the one which I use, which I like, is a blog article generator. So I'm volunteering for some communications and social media work for a food pantry. Um,
Mhm.
I'm not a great writer, um, like when it comes to just all the time. Like if I have one article and I'm focused, I can do it. But if I have to generate stuff all the time, I need some help. That helps me. It's fantastic. And maybe someday I'll highlight that, but I just want to start. So I'm in Claude. Um, there's artifacts on the left. I think
Hmm.
artifacts, I don't know if you can do them on the free tier. You may have to have at least a $20 a month tier. Um, but if I think it's worth it. But you just say new artifact. All right. So you can start with templated ideas basically or from scratch. We're going from
Hmm.
scratch. All right. Yeah. What would you like to create? So I'm going to put in your prompt. We are kicking off a weekly build with us vibe coding series. Real worlds vibe code them in Gemini AI or Claude. Please build an idea generator that also includes a starting prompt for the vibe code session that can be used for either Gemini or Claude Code. We're going to share the vibe coding idea generator with the world. Let's make it fun to use and have some images. I'm curious, and right now it's using Sonnet. I'm curious what it's going to do for images because I'm not like obviously Claude isn't natively connected to
Yeah.
Google's Nano Banana or anything. So let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. So, a couple things that I want to call out, right? I've
Hmm.
noticed a material difference when you paste in like this versus when you
Hmm.
bullet it out.
Oh,
You'll
for the
notice
prompt.
for the prompt, you'll notice that the
Yeah.
M dash, for example, from code to please, I've noticed, sorry, I said material, a small difference. Material sounds big. A small
Okay.
difference from when you do it like this to when you
Hmm.
actually bullet it out. And I think the reason because M dashes are so native to AI that it's
Hmm.
treating that as a code M dash please versus bullets.
Hmm.
Um, Small differences I see, but I definitely always bullet them out just in case. It
Yeah,
also
well,
might just be
that's a
part
fair thing to call out. Like, um,
might just be
right.
paranoia, honestly, Chris. It might just
Well,
be like,
it's just it's not apples to apples. It's apples. It's like red apples to green apples.
that's
Our
right,
test here, our
that's
experiment.
right.
All right, so it's coding away. So it says, "Love
Yeah,
this idea. Here's my plan." Before I build, there's going to be a hero section, AI powered idea generation section. Each result card
no,
shows the idea. So this gave details on how it's going to structure it. Suggested tech tools ready to paste, sharing or starting prompt, a fun random image just for the vibes, one click copy prompt button, and categories to filter. Oh, ooh, look, very different in terms of like aesthetic. Okay, here's your build with us vibe generator.
oh,
So
I
let's,
like the categories. That's cool.
okay, so weekly series, build with, it also says build with us, right? So
Yeah.
interesting. Um, all right, surprise me, productivity, fun and games. So at least, so it thinks you need some direction to start
Hmm.
versus just, but you know what it doesn't have, which yours did end up having, was Google search. It
Yeah.
can do search, but I didn't explicitly tell it
Hmm.
to go do any kind of research. But okay, so um, how do we want to start? What category?
Let's do fun and games. I'm curious to see what comes with it. The the thing that's jumping out to me is we don't see images anywhere, so I'm curious how it's going to handle images now.
Yeah.
Click generate idea. Like I think
I mean, it's using emojis.
that's what I'm wondering. Are those images in its definition, or it's in its extrapolation of our prompt? The other thing that I'm noticing too is it. Oh, here we go. So there's an emoji. So I think that's what it's calling images.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what it's calling images. That's a clever little workaround for a
yeah,
lack of tool. Okay, so 2 to 3. So intermediate. It's actually ranking the
yeah.
complexity. 2 to 3 hours. It's telling you how long something's going to take.
Yeah.
Um, and look at the description. I mean, the richness of the
Wow.
description,
Yeah.
and it actually gave you a toggle, like from Claude Code to Gemini AI Studio.
What's the difference, though? I mean, interesting. Like, why it thinks a prompt would be need
I
to
don't
be
know.
different. Um. Oh, well, this one has numbers, like features, and it's numbered out. And for Gen AI Studio, it doesn't do that. That's interesting. It thinks it knows something about Gemini AI Studio, I think. But
It
regardless,
it thinks it knows a difference in how prompts are handled,
hmm
which we went absolutely with the same prompt regardless. Um, so there's something Claude thinks it knows. Doesn't mean it actually is true. It just thinks it knows. It didn't handle favorites either. So
right,
that's
we
just the
didn't.
material miss in
That
our
was a
prompt. Either
follow-up
way,
prompt, though, right? Yeah. So,
I just gave you the follow up. If you want to copy the exact
oh, you
one we
did?
used for
Yeah, I
Gemini,
do.
I did. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Use that one because the I don't know. I like both for different reasons. I I like what Claude did. I like what Gemini did. It
Okay.
doesn't support. Okay, this is interesting. It's going to store it in a React state because it doesn't have a local storage or session storage. So we're farther away from true prototyping here.
Um, well, yes and no, because it depends on how you want to use it. Well, I guess no. I think you're right. Like true prototyping for something that could end up in production
Yeah,
as a product or a tool, right? We're not. We're further away from that. But in the vein of just making something for me to use, this is super fast.
yeah,
And I can come back
yeah,
to it whenever I want to and use
yeah.
whatever it is I built.
Yep,
And I can publish it, I can share it. Um, so even like think I haven't dug in enough. I think when you share it, it's like totally public. I don't think there's any kind of like
that's
gating
correct.
or adding
That's correct.
users,
Yeah.
right? So it would be out there, but I could
Whereas
build things that are
Gemini,
useful.
I could have said include auth,
Yeah.
which would then force a gating. Which there's a lot. The Gemini prototype would be closer to production than this prototype, but
Yes.
different
But
purposes.
different
Absolutely
purposes.
different purposes. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is interesting. I Okay, here we go. So it did the refresh itself. So hit the saved ideas. You see that right there, but it's storing it as a React state, right? So theoretically,
hmm
you refresh, your saved ideas go away because it's a React it's a React state that it's being tracked. And if I
Yes. If I built a new version of this artifact, right,
it'll
it
go
would
away. Yeah,
probably lose, yeah, my history.
yeah.
Ooh, a dungeon
ASCII
crawler.
dungeon crawler. I, It'd be
What is?
interesting is if the next
Yeah.
step here was to take these two code bases and tell Claude code, not artifacts, but code
Yeah.
in an IDE. Just mash these together. Take the best parts of both and mash them together.
Yeah.
That would be interesting as the next step. So you've got the saved ideas there. I really like this save view
Yeah. I do too.
better than Gemini. Yeah,
Um, okay, but I think it is very clear, use case wise. If my goal is to have a thing that might end up being production value or you know, an actual app, an actual web app, um, like the Google A is it Google AI Studio or Gemini AI Studio? Not that it
It's
matters.
Gemini AI Studio. Yeah.
Okay, very impressive for all of that.
Yeah.
I love this for just when I need help with something personal.
Hmm.
I just need a tool. Like, great, fantastic. Okay, so we've done the both. Um, do you have any other? Oh, yeah. And if I want to share it, like I can copy the code and share the code with people like that. When I click copy, it's
Hmm.
the artifact file, so I can share this file with somebody,
Yeah.
and they can import it as an artifact, and I can publish it. And at that point, I have a URL, um, and
Which you can share publicly, by the way.
which I can share publicly.
It does not require you to be within organization like Teams does,
Right, right,
Claude
right.
Teams. Yeah. I think we are at our time for today.
Okay.
This was really cool. This was really interesting. I think our intention was to use these to generate ideas for next week. I think what we do is we kick off next week. We use some of the ideas to kind of go comb through, and then we pick one or we make up and extrapolate one, and we go forward with that. The hard part, Chris, is between now and then we need to actually pick one of these tools and stick with it and take it forward.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll see what happens next time. All right. Take care.